It's time to make amends. Make amends with all the people that you feel have wronged you. Make amends with all the people that you have wronged. It seems like such a daunting task for us to get over our petty quarrels and debates about things that seemingly matter at the moment, but in hindsight mean very little, if anything at all. The arguments that we have in person are compounded by the availability of the internet. We're able to constantly scan to find something confrontational that we can argue about. And this is understandable. Part of human nature is to prove your point or your side, but you find you quickly tire of that. The bigger issue is that while we are busy debating with people about silly things, we fail to see that the people we love, the people around us, they just want what's best for us most of the time, just like we want what's best for them most of the time. And we have false ideas about what people think of us and vice versa, and we are generally unsure of how we are perceived by the world. There are many different names for various syndromes of kind of like believing that you're the center of attention, or believing that everyone's looking at you, whether positively or negatively. Generally, most people are just living their own lives and don't give a damn what's happening with you at any one given time. That said, your family and friends, they do. I think about what my family is doing. I think about what my friends are doing. You might simply send a text to say, hey, how are you? How are you doing? Sometimes that's harder than it sounds. But we have to. We have to nurture those relationships. We have to continue to not just forgive those that we've wronged, even, that's one of the biblical quotes, right? Forgive those who have trespassed against us. Why the hell don't people? I mean, people who claim to be even Christians, who would follow that as one of their main principles, often can never forgive people. I've had people who have broken into my house, stolen things from me, stolen family heirlooms twice from the same person, and I forgave them both. And I have forgiven people who have, physically altercation that, like, I had when I got in a fist fight with the guy in junior high, and then by the end of the year we were friends. You don't want to harbor these things for a long period of time. It's unhealthy, but some people really do hold resentment because it gives them some sort of a fire to hang on to. And this is something I've noticed more and more, that some folks don't want to let go. And they don't want to let go because then they don't have something to be angry about or an excuse to be angry. But it's very important that we do, because the people in our lives, they're temporal, just like we are. And we forget that. No matter how many times we're reminded of that, we forget. This is a separate video from the one I just made, so I should mention my mother died 5 days ago. She was 74, Christy Orr. Love you, Mom. Not going to go into that here, but this is what's inspiring me, because I wish I had had more closure. I wish I had said some things and apologized about some things. But most of all, just let my guard down. And over the last year or so, I had been. We had had many debates in the past about really dumb things, usually conspiracy theories or something I didn't want to believe, or maybe I'd tell her, don't teach my kids chemtrails, that stupid things. Like, let her say what she wants to say because it would be healthier for me. But after all that was said and done, I was able to apologize to her and say, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be too overbearing, but not enough. I feel like I hadn't given enough effort on that part. And I know that that's universal. We often feel that way when somebody dies suddenly, that we wish we could have done more for them. But the question becomes, why don't we? Why don't we do more for them while they're here? Why don't we do more for each other while we're here? My friends and I are all going to the beach. Well, 2 of my friends and my brother, we're going to the beach for kind of a morning session, and maybe some mushrooms, and just have a little bit of quiet time to process and reflect. Spending time with close friends You know, I'm 48 years old. I have so much gratitude that I even have friends I can spend time with. There are people out there who would love to even have a couple of friends that they could go hiking or travel with. I would say on that note, you can. You've just got to put in the effort, and a lot of folks don't. But building real relationships takes work. It takes sacrifice. Nobody's going to think what you want them to think. Nobody's going to think your way. And I think a lot of the time that we disagree with people, it's over two things. Either A, we don't like who they are, or B, we have severe miscommunications. And I would like to say in 2023, almost 2024, one of the biggest problems we have is miscommunication through text message and comments, group chats, whatever it might be. Somebody says something that you take the wrong way, or maybe you took it the right way, but it was just a different emphasis. There's no nuance. There's no, face. You can't see their gestures. And I think this is tearing a lot of people apart. And I guess my message here is that if you have relationships, nurture them and clarify what you mean with people. Don't get pulled into those debates. And extend that beyond your family to all the people you meet, the people online, the strangers. The old golden rule, right? Treat others as you'd like to be treated. And I think if we can do that, we'll be a lot better off as people. And that's all I wanted to say. Just remember, we are mortal. And we got to love each other. Peace out.